Hi, it's Matthew Weatherby, Vegan of Power. And I was curious what all the vegans out there thought about like a guy like Joe Salatin. Because I think he's really cool. Like, reading Omnivore's Dilemma, I'm not done yet, I'm only halfway through it. But when you see all the craziness that the country's currently engaged in, with all this insane production of corn, like way more than we can possibly use. That's why like, they're making ethanol and trying to come up with all kinds of ways to feed people more than they already feed them, even though our countries are already fat, and like force like feeding all these animals corn, even things like cows that aren't meant to eat corn. And then you see how crazy the meat industry is, and you see all this madness and how unsustainable it is, and how it's just like destroying the topsoil and wrecking the planet and ecology. And then you see someone like Joe Salatin, who's like taking the natural processes of nature and then doing them correctly. You know, he has the cows go out on the green grass, and then the chickens come from behind and eat all the grubs and clean everything up, and everything's fertilizing, and he just keeps like kind of rotating them to different spots. And basically he says he's a grass farmer, even though he farms a lot of things. But that's the point, is he's like making healthy topsoil, he's making the world better, keeping all those nutrients and minerals and mini ecosystems thriving and growing, doing the opposite of what most people are doing. And I think he's actually an asset to the world, instead of like most people that just seem to be breaking it down. So I think he's really, really cool. And so I was wondering how a lot of vegans felt about him, because he's obviously not a vegan or a vegetarian. Guarantee you he probably like eats eggs and all that kind of stuff because he grows it on his farm, but he doesn't have things in little tiny feedlots with all that nasty fecal dust and force feeding it corn and forcing it to grow 5 times as fast as it's supposed to so he can sell it faster. No, these are just animals out in nature eating, living life. It's just like the cycle of nature. I like what he's doing. So I think it's important to realize there's a lot of people out there doing good, making the world a better place, even if they aren't one of us. I think it's encouraging to see good anywhere. The world needs more of that. Saw an old friend that's been off the island for 3 years. One of the only other people I ever worked with who's a vegan. It's cool to see him today. About time for Seafood Days class to start, so I better put it into this.